Path Media. I was a minimum wage movie theater usher that made good and became a top earner in my network marketing company. Now, after 16 plus years in the profession, I'm finally teaching myself how to leverage the internet with online marketing and social media marketing to continue to grow and expand my business. My name is Ronnie Cruz, and this is Path of the Network Marketer.
All right, welcome back to the show. In today's episode, we're going to talk about what kind of identities you should create for your online marketing efforts, especially social media, right? What kind of presence, what kind of persona you want to put out there. Now, before we get into all of that, however, I do want to remind you that it is day 94, episode 94. That's right, episode 94 out of 100. So if you're not already following the show, you're going to want to follow the show. These next 6-7 days are going to be amazing. The episodes after that, even more amazing. I'm actually currently working on a series that's going to be a retrospective of this 100-day journey. You know, what 100 days of podcasting has done for me, what I've learned, what it's done for my business, what it's done for my marketing. So again, hit that plus sign if you're not already following or subscribed to this show. All right. So getting into today's topic, what kind of identity, what kind of persona you should create for your online marketing efforts. The first answer is where I want to start this conversation is you don't have to create anything, right? I don't want there to be a misunderstanding. I don't want the question to be misinterpreted. You don't have to manufacture any kind of persona or different character outside of yourself, right? The main thing is just be authentically you, right? Be authentically you. Be as vulnerable as you're willing to be on your socials, right? Because that's what's going to engage people, right? That's what people are going to connect to. It'll allow your audience to get to know you, eventually get to like you, and then of course eventually get to trust you. You know, like that's how we build our influence online, right? Especially social. So it's not about manufacturing anything that's not authentically you. That's number one. If you're fake, right? If you know you're not letting your audience get to know you, then they're going to be less engaged, and they'll be more likely to just scroll past your post. Now, outside, beyond that, the next step is figuring out which kind of category you fit into. And category is really the wrong word, but I picture this as kind of this, what are they called? Like the Venn diagrams, the circle diagrams, right? That all have a different kind of category, and then each of those circles intersect with each other. And I apologize if you're listening to this on a podcast. I'm not doing a great job of describing it, but this is how I picture it in my head. I'll eventually have an actual diagram for this. Well, here's a hint. I'm going to release later on with a particular new resource that I'm also working on. So again, if you're not following, you're going to want to follow because there's lots coming down the pipeline. All right, so this diagram, it's 3 circles. The top circle is your products, your company, your network marketing company, in the products, the goods and services, whatever the niche, whatever niche that falls into, whatever arena that falls into. Like for instance, my company Yoli, we're a nutritional company, right? We have amazing supplements and nutritional products. So it would be, a health and wellness circle. On the bottom left is being an enthusiast about that. Well, not necessarily about that, but just being an enthusiast. The bottom right circle is being an expert, right? And so these 3 circles kind of intersect, like your typical infographics that you see quite often on the internet. They intersect, and your content will really depend largely on where you feel most comfortable being in this diagram, right? The expert obviously is, having a high level of knowledge and proficiency in a particular subject matter. And then if that intersects with your company, obviously, with that particular arena. Again, my example is with health and wellness, right? So if I was presenting myself as an expert in that particular niche and as a brand ambassador for my company, I would post things about my products, right? My health products and what it's done for me, how it fits into my lifestyle, et cetera. But I'd also talk about health and wellness. I talk about nutrition. I talk about lifestyle. I talk about fitness, right? I'm really into fitness. So that could be an example of that. Now, of course, I don't have to be necessarily posting about, being a brand ambassador for that particular circle. I can present myself as an expert on something else, right? For example, this show. I'm presenting myself as an expert network marketer. I mean, I have almost 17 years of experience. Why not? It just makes sense. And I'm super comfortable in that space. I'm also presenting myself, excuse me. I'm also presenting myself as an online marketer, right? Like I'm learning all this stuff and I'm sharing all this stuff with you on this journey, right? So you can definitely present yourself as an expert or even enthusiast outside of being a brand ambassador for your company. The thing you have to consider though, if you do that, is that your funnel will have to somehow circle back to your products or services, right? So that we include that into the eventual piece of the equation, which is the customer acquisition. I think if you present yourself more as a brand ambassador expert and enthusiast, it'll be easier to get to that point in terms of the customer acquisition. But again, there's no wrong or right? It's really, for me, I think the main thing is just sitting where you're most comfortable at any given moment, and that will change. Obviously, that'll change. Now, with the enthusiast, same, right? Like that's obviously what it says what it is, right? It's being an enthusiast about a particular subject matter or a particular niche. You don't have to necessarily have a high level of proficiency or knowledge in that particular thing. You just have to really be excited about it, right? Like the example that pops in my head for myself, if I were to do that, I would do, be an enthusiast for Star Wars, right? I'm a huge Star Wars fan, and in fact, my other podcast, it's a personal development podcast, but it's also a Star Wars podcast, right? Path of the Jedi. So I'm a huge Star Wars fan, and I can be an enthusiast about that on my social if I wanted to. Now, again, if I did that, if I built a social account and presence around my enthusiasm for that particular thing, understand that I do, again, have to kind of figure a way back to pointing that funnel, the sales funnel, back to my company's products, right? Because it is, again, about customer acquisition. Of course, you can be an enthusiast for your company as well, being that brand ambassador. So that's what it looks like, right? That's what the diagram looks like. And again, it's really just about it's about where you're most comfortable on this diagram at any given point in your journey. The thing I like about the enthusiast is that there's a lower barrier to getting started, right? There's less friction. You don't have to like teach yourself everything and be completely expert at everything. So more people can be enthusiasts than being an expert. You'll probably at some point, hopefully, eventually become an expert at something. But you definitely, starting off, especially new people in your company, if you're brand new to network marketing, if you're brand new to online marketing, being an enthusiast is really, really a great place to start. And as you go on this online marketing journey, as you start building your profiles and your accounts and your presence online, it's going to evolve and change. Again, you're not locked into one particular decision. It's going to evolve over time, and you're going to grow, and where you lie in the circle will also change and evolve and grow with you. So that's the message. Again, I know this is a podcast, so hopefully, there is a diagram coming, and that diagram will be included in a guide that's coming. So stay tuned for more. Again, make sure you're following the show, and also, actually, if you're not part of the our Facebook community, get on that community. Right, it's facebook.com/group/path of the network marketer. The members of that particular community will get first shot, or not first shot. Well, you guys will get a first peek at all this new stuff that I'm putting out there. I'm also going to, occasionally record these episodes live in that group page. Really wanting to build that community out as another resource for you, another place where to continue these conversations outside of the show, outside of the podcast, and also to get your questions answered, right? Sharing what you're going through on your network marketing journey, on your online marketing journey, right? So go find that Facebook group. I'll put the link in the show notes, but but it's facebook.com/group/Path of the Jedi. And then beyond that, well, yeah, more to come, right? We're on our way to 100. So hit that plus button if you're not already following. Share the episode if you find value in this content. What I would like to ask, if you're willing, if you're willing and can spare 30 seconds to a minute, take a screenshot of the podcast and then share it on your stories. You can tag me if you want. On Instagram, I'm Cannibal Ron. Facebook, I am Ronnie Cruz 11. I would just really appreciate it. You'd be doing me a big solid by doing that. The main thing is, if you find value in the content, somebody else, chances are somebody else will as well, right? This information could help out somebody else if it's helping you out. So that's it for today. We'll catch you tomorrow with a fresh new episode. Until then, be well, be safe. We'll see you in the next episode.